See, they've been playing with me, detail. Where my water at? Where my water? There you go. Listen, we live and live in color. Welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. Welcome. We had some technical malfunctions. We finally got it together. Come on in, y'all. Come on back in. Come on back in. Have a seat. I'm glad you all are here. Some of you were already here before we had the technical malfunctions. We back now, man. We got a lot of boxing to talk about. I'm gonna break down the business of boxing. We gonna talk Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Sebastian Fundora, Tszyu. What's happening with all four of these guys, particularly at the welterweight division, the junior middleweight division, which is the 154 pounds. You know, we're going to talk about it all. We also going to talk about the interview that I conducted with Margaret Goodman, the founder and president of VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Associations. Of course, they provide the resources for all professional combatants, MMA and professional boxers, MMA fighters and professional boxers, to receive urine and blood testing. It's supposed to be random, but we've discovered in the past few months, detailed boxing, that random basically doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to deal with that. But first, before we deal with all of that, I want to make sure I introduce the guest here. And, you know, everybody's acknowledging him in the chat. Y'all know we like family. You know, we had to come back and spend, what Terrence Crawford say, spend the block. Spend the block. We got to spend the block because the last time you seen me and Detail Boxing together, we were actually talking about Victor Conte, a lot of the SNAC program fighters. We was basically doing a reaction video of the interview that Victor Conte conducted with Jason Whitlock. And so we wanted to spin the block and put it all together now that I've interviewed Dr. Margaret Goodman just last week. Salute to Andre Smith. Salute to J-Star 72. Salute to Andre Noble. Salute to Biz on the Beat. These are all members of the channel and supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew, and I welcome each and every last one of you who's in the chat, acknowledging me, acknowledging Detail Boxing. So let me invite all of you who may not know who he is, to my family, my brother, glad he's here. Detail Boxing, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, family? What's going on?
Man, look, Detail, you know, we've been shaking up YouTube streets. I mean, we've been talking about VADA. We've been talking about the SNAC program. We've been talking about Victor Conte since I've interviewed him twice in a matter of 6 days. 5 hours of live dialogue that I've had with him here. You've done reaction videos to the interview. You've been doing videos prior to the interview. I've been doing videos about it. And we're here now. Did you get an opportunity to hear some, most, or all of the content that I did with the interview I did with Marty Goodman?
Yeah. You sent it to me, and also I looked at it. I mean, you asked some great questions. And one thing about you, Manager Marty, you keep it professional. You know what I'm saying? No matter what people say, because if you kept it unprofessional, we wouldn't be able to get these interviews. So you asked some great questions and things like that. So we appreciate it, and I did listen to it, and she gave us some answers, you know, to your questions.
Oh, yeah, to piggyback off what you said, family, you said that I asked some great questions, no matter how people may think about it, what they might feel about it, or what their perception is about it, when I'm maintaining professionalism. I mean, in your opinion, Detail, why do you think I've been getting so much backlash when people get mad all because I don't ask the questions in a specific manner? In other words, is people want me to be so aggressive and ignorant and unprofessional. Why do you think that is, Detail?
But first of all, you got people on your channel that other people can't get. So first of all, these people, people that jumps on your channel and decide to give you their time, a valuable time, give it to you, and also give it to you, you give it to us, it's because they understand that you're a professional. You're going to do it the right way. It's two ways to skin a cat. I can say it nicely, I can say it mean, but I said the same thing. So it don't matter how you say it, it's what you say. So you did the right thing, and the other people that's complaining about how you did it, you wonder why these people you interviewed, they can't interview. So, salute to you, Manager Moy.
I appreciate it. Salute to you, Detail. Salute to everybody, man. What was your first of all, we talk a lot. We have a lot of extensive history with VADA dialogue and Victor Conte dialogue and all the snack fighters that's over there with him dialogue, Memo Heredia dialogue, cheating and doping and PED use, which is running rampant in the sport of boxing since we've been knowing this for decades now. What was your take of the things that Dr. Margaret Goodman said when you heard the things that she said in the interview? What was your take on all that, real quick, D?
I think she clarified a lot of things up for us. And I understand that some things she couldn't say. So we understood that. You understood that going into the interview. But she clarified some things with us about that it's certain things that they believe or would like to be tested for, but it's not. And she also clarified that there's still substance that can't be detected. You know what I'm saying? So we've been knowing this. Everything we said, Victor Conte and Morgan Goodman came back and validated. They coincide with what we said. They said exactly what we said. When we said it, they didn't believe us. But when they said, they believe them. So it's not that we hate. We just have enough common sense to realize what we saw. We can put two and two together. We can use their own words against them. Not Morgan Goodman, but Victor Conte. But we understand boxing. Most of these people are in their feelings. So they overlook reality. They overlook facts because of their feelings. We have feelings also, but we also could put that to the side for the truth. And one thing I know about you and me, Manager Moya, we're not trying to mislead the people. That's one thing we're not trying to do. And in my videos, I make sure that I would say this is my opinion. So I don't want people to believe that's a fact. I say in my opinion, or I say this is a fact. So we try to do our research, make sure we give the family members, and also the family members, they give us valuable information also in the comments. So it's just not me and you. All of us are working together to make sure that we all get the right information.
Oh yeah, yep. And I've done extensive research on the whole topic of anti-doping for over 15 years. If you're new to the audience, so there were certain questions I was already willing and able to ask based on the research I've conducted for a decade and a half. So by the time Victor Conti came up here, I mean, I didn't rehearse none of the questions I was going to ask him. I was just freestyling and just letting everything flow organically. I do very well with improvising. So that's all I did because I already did the footwork, not just with snack fighters, even before there was snack fighters officially. When Alex Ariza was in the game, when Memo Heredia was heavy back then. I've been doing this. So by the time Victor came up, Marty Goodman or anybody else came up here to talk about anti-doping, I mean, I was already well versed on it. And so I appreciate the support that everybody's been showing, viewing and providing monetary resources to support the channel through the super chats and the questions that was asked, even the questions I didn't ask, but they were asked through super chat. All of that come into play, and everybody should get their flowers on it because it was a great interview that I conducted with Victor Conte twice, not once, but twice. I mean, we had him going somebody. Victor Conte went on another guy's channel. See, I don't mind saying names. He went on the Coach Malakai's channel. It was a phone interview. He went on his channel. Nobody did a reaction video to none of that. He didn't know the right questions because he didn't do the research. And it's not I'm not knocking Coach Malachi, you know, even though he talks bad about me and majority of his content. I mean, I don't know why and I don't care, but my point is, when you don't know the right questions to ask because you didn't do your due diligence, a person like a Victor Conte, he can come up here and, you know, he knows how to mesmerize people. I mean, he knows how to get you hooked into what he's saying. You believe him, and next thing you know, you will call him a genius at the interview. I mean, we saw last time you was up here, Detail, we saw and we went back and I played a couple of excerpts of the interview that Victor Conte did with Jason Whitlock. I mean, the guy sounded like a great genius. And even Jason Whitlock asked him, man, how come ESPN, why don't they interview you? Why don't they interview you to get all this knowledge and information that you have? Why not none of these bigger platforms? And Victor Conte said, his words, hold on, I almost dropped my iPad. His words, not mine, was basically they're scared of me. They don't want to have me up there because I'm spreading the truth. Well, Jason Whitlock, if you watching me live and live in color, all you got to do is hit me up. I'll send you the real interview. 2 of them that I did with him. And I bet you when you finish watching them, you ain't going to need to ask ESPN or none of the big platforms why they didn't ask him all these questions. And, you know, he said that they don't want to know the truth because guess what? We found out the truth when he got here, Detail.
Yep.
And guess what? If you don't like me, what I always tell you people, this is to the family that knows me. If you don't like me, you won't believe. I don't care if you like, listen, you don't have to like me, but you're going to believe me. See, that's the thing. It don't make a difference if you like me or not, as long as you believe. I told y'all before, when it was July the 29th, we all saw what happened with Terrence Crawford fighting Errol Spence. We all seen it. We all seen it now. We've seen Terrence Crawford perform before July 29th of 2023 when he fought Spence. His last 2 fights before that, we've seen it. Not only did we see that, but we've seen all of the SNAC fighters perform. Devin Haney included, all of these guys. We've seen them in the ring. And so the first piece of the puzzle, what I'm trying to get at Detail is, the first piece of the puzzle is the eye test. We saw. Some of us didn't know whether or not their performance was enhanced. We didn't know. I'm saying we because I'm including myself so nobody won't feel singled out. I knew, but some people didn't know. So the first thing we had to do was we had to ascertain and examine what we were looking at in that ring. So that was piece of the puzzle number 1. Okay, so we see that fighters are starting to look different. They're performing a little bit differently than what we are accustomed of seeing before and after they joined the SNAC program. The second piece of the puzzle was Victor Conte coming up here, or any platform, but let's just use the ones he came. He came here. And in 2 interviews, within a matter of 6 days and a total of 5 hours of live dialogue that I've had with him and subsequent videos that followed, Conte contradicted himself a lot of times, Detail. So that's pieces to the puzzle number 2. And then the third and final piece to the puzzle, Detail, is having the founder of VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, Dr. Margaret Goodman, come up here. And even I interviewed her last week. And you know what? All of the pieces to the puzzle have been put together. If you ask me, Detail, I've solved the case and cracked this thing wide open.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, these Crawford fans, you know, and any fans should applaud you and me and whoever else that kept it real with bringing the truth and the knowledge. And matter of fact, we are letting them know that what they saw is what we saw. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of channels out here that was afraid to say anything about Errol Spence didn't look the same. Terrence Crawford didn't look the same. They was afraid to say something because of the backlash. And a few good men and our family members that's in the chat, we kept it real no matter what they said. And then later, coaches, Hall of Famers, fighters, ex-fighters, commentators, all came out. Matter of fact, Bozy Ennis came out today, was talking about how Errol Spence didn't look the same, and Errol Spence wasn't the same as we saw him to be. So we even told them that something was wrong with Errol Spence. They told us we was making excuses. Later, Victor Conte came out with something, and then they talk about, oh, Victor Conte, see Errol Spence. It wasn't the snacks that made Terrence Crawford look good. It was because of Errol Spence and what happened in his training camp. We've been told y'all that. But y'all didn't believe us. Now Victor Conte, who deals with Terrence Crawford, now you believe him. That don't make no sense. We've been telling these people over and over and over again. They sit right here and throw the truth behind their head. And then months later, they come back and say what we said, but they never say, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry. I said this, my bad. Y'all told the truth. They never came back and apologized, but they want us to apologize for the truth. If you don't want the truth, don't come over here because that's all I got. I'm not going to go to sleep at night giving people lies. We showed them interviews. We showed them track history. We ain't just coming out of nowhere with saying that. We giving you proof. And if the proof ain't good enough, we talking to the wrong people.
Oh, yes. I'm always going to give you proof. Double salute to my guy, Rodney Day Jr. Thank you for your support, Rod. Thank you for your super chat. Rodney says, salute to my guy, solid, sturdy. Rodney knows me for over 30 years, and he knows that I'm solid and sturdy, and I'm glad he's telling the audience, salute to my guy. Rod also did another super chat. Thank you again, Rod. Double salute to you. Thank you for your support and contribution. Rodney Day says, did you say Crawford? Man, send me my money back. Come on, Rod. Come on. You see, Rod, here's the thing. We have to talk about Crawford. We have to. You want to know why? Because Sebastian Fundora couldn't even get 48 hours to enjoy his victory. Because as soon as he won, you had everybody and their grandmama on YouTube doing what? Diminishing his win, talking about Terrence Crawford, and he need to jump in front of a line. So, Rodney, we got to talk about it now, brother. This ain't no Crawford bashing or nothing. We got to talk about it because the fight just happened on Saturday. Fundora couldn't even get 48 hours to enjoy his new title before someone brought up Terrence Crawford's name. By Monday, YouTube was flooding videos all over the place talking about Terrence Crawford is being mistreated. And there's an injustice because he's waiting in line. And then, look, Terrence Crawford even tweeted. Look, let's be clear, Rodney, and everybody else listening. Terrence Crawford even tweeted and told Errol Spence, look, you got to get in the back of the line, buddy, or something that he said. He said something to that effect. Am I right, Detail?
He said you lost. You got to get in back of the line.
Right. So I'm saying Terrence Crawford didn't even give Sebastian his flowers, brother. So all I'm saying is we got to give Sebastian his. And then we got to tell the people what's next and see what you all think, the audience, of what happens to all four of these fighters now that all of this has unfolded. We have another super chat. I got a couple of super chats. Man, everybody's here. The viewership is increasing exponentially. And y'all know I love when it does that. Double salute to my guy, Electric Agitator. Thank you for your support and contribution. He says, Bud versus the Mexican Monster is the fight to make. Well, the last time I checked, we had Bud being in a rematch with Errol Spence. Then we had Bud moving up 2-3 weight classes to fight Canelo. Now you saying Electric, him, Bud, moving up again to fight the Mexican Monster. Then people saying that Bud gonna fight Tszyu. Then somebody even told me I should go fight Bud Crawford. I mean, we don't know who his next opponent gonna be, but we gonna talk about it. We gonna deal with it. So let's talk about is the Mexican monster David Benavidez. If most of you don't know who Electric is referring to, let's see if that's a possibility. We're gonna talk about all of that in just 1 minute. Double salute to my guy, member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll to Take Film Crew. He's a day one supporter of this channel. He was with me when I only had about 300 subscribers. and he's still here rocking out with your boy, Aaron Muhammad. What's going on, promoter? He says, salute, Manager Marty. Salute to the Roll the Tape Film Crew family. Please excuse my absence as I have been extremely busy launching another business. I am always keeping up with the channel and will always support my brother. Man, let us know, Aaron. What you know, email me, shoot me a text, something, Aaron. Let me know what the business is that you launching. You got my full support. You know how we rock out, bro. So double salute to you again, always supporting the channel. Then we got my guy, Rodney Day again. Double salute to my boy, Rod. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate you, family. Another super chat. Rod says, D-Town, stop it. LMAOOOO, not getting me today. Don't know what that means, D-Town, but that message was for you, brother. Who else we got in here? Let me see something. Big question, Manager Marty and D-Town. This not even a super chat. You know you got the super chat to ask us a question. Who is it, James? James, you got the super chat. Support the channel, man. Who's putting up the money for any fight with Crawford? He can demand whatever he wants to. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. That I'm glad you said that, James, because that's the business of boxing that I'm going to break down for all of you. But before we do that, though, we got to cover what, because see, a lot of people wasn't here. A lot of people wasn't here when I dealt with the interview with Margaret Goodman. So I want to play something real quick, D-Town. This is an excerpt from the interview I conducted with the founder and president of VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. She's the CEO, Dr. Margaret Goodman. And I asked her a question, and I want you all, the audience, to hear her answer. Tell me what you think. We're going to talk about Crawford. We're going to talk about Spence. We're going to talk about Fundora. We're going to talk about Tszyu. What happens with these guys moving forward and what the business of boxing will say to how these guys should move forward. But first, I want to play this from the interview I did with Margaret Goodman just last week. Oh, before I do that, let me get the super checks. I don't want to, hold on. I don't want to play this and then forget. Double salute to my guy, James. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel, James. And I appreciate you. He says, here you are. This is the contribution for us to answer his question that he asked me in detail. And I appreciate it. And that's James, you got my full respect because of that. Thank you so much. Hold on, y'all. This is from Dr. Margaret Goodman and myself. And this is a question that I asked her.
Would evoke an adverse test result, but that's a long story for another day. But
right.
But I think there's substances that should be added, and I think some of that can depend on what the laboratories are able to test for and determine whether it's inborn, like endogenous, or it's exogenous, that they're actually taking something. So,
well, there's one that we've seen in a tweet recently, as even far back as last year and a few months ago, and even in recent interviews, where there is some sort of undetectable drug that there is no test for in the first place, called insulin growth factor 1, LR3, or long R3. Do you know anything about that, Margaret?
Well, the only thing I can tell you is that it would be nice if that was something that would be able to be tested for. But once again, we're bound by what the lab capacity for certain testing is. And they can test for one of the components of that, but not all of them at this point in time, although I'm sure that they're trying to investigate being able to test for it, even though it's prohibited. So,
hold on. So, just for clarity purposes, a banned stuff, well, it's undetectable, but so IGF-1 LR3, there is no test for it, and it's undetectable, basically.
To my knowledge, yes.
Yeah. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I asked her about insulin growth factor 1, LR3, long R3. So that's IGF-1 LR3. That is the undetectable performance enhancement drug that we've heard Victor Conte say on this channel, he said it on Jason Whitlock's platform a few weeks back, well, actually a few months ago. There's no test for it. In fact, he also said that it's readily available. You can purchase it online. You can go to Mexico, purchase it over the counter at a pharmacy. It's more powerful than growth hormone, and there is no test for it. These were his exact words. It's funny how I can spit back line for line, brother, what he said, but that was his exact words. And so I wanted to ask Dr. Margaret Goodman about it, and you've heard her confirm that there is no test at all for IGF-1 LR3. So the question becomes, how do we know if anyone, including Victor Conte, Memo Heredia, or anyone else who call themselves anti-doping advocates and strength and conditioning coaches, how do we know that this undetectable, powerful steroid or performance enhancement drug is not being administered to any of the professional boxers in our sport? How do we know? D-Town, what's your take on all that, bro?
First of all, we know that VADA got most of their information from Victor Conte, about these substances, these undetectable stuff, or the names or whatever it is. Victor Conte was supposed to, help them to understand what this stuff is. Try to stop it. I ain't seen him do nothing. So if he know more than VADA, then he know how to get around it. If he know more than VADA, do you actually think? Now, I'm not saying he's doing it. What I'm saying is that he's able to do it. Put it that way. And you actually think that this man is going to give them the whole 100% of the knowledge to catch him if he decides to do it? No, that man ain't that stupid. Terrence Crawford said, I did my research. I know about your past. That's what Terrence Crawford was saying. I did my research on you. The research that Terrence Crawford did came off of his past. Terrence Crawford said, you ain't gotta sell me or nothing. I'm in. So what I'm saying is, if Victor Conte or Memo Radius wants to do this, they understand how to do it, because Victor Conte said that he see this stuff all the time. Then he told us what to look out for. The very things he said look out for was the very thing he told the announcer when Andrade fought the Mexican Monster. That man said, Victor Conte reassured me, I think that's what he said, something like that, that this man won't get tired. He said a couple of other things. But these were the exact things that he said we need to look out for. But people can't put two and two together because they feelings are in it. They sounded like Michael Jackson. It don't make any sense to me. So, word to the wise, we understand.
Oh, yeah. Not only are there feelings, but their favorite fighter. So there's two more F's. Feelings and favorite fighter. That's over there. I want to play you something since you brought up something that Terrence Crawford supposedly has said with Victor Conte. I want to play it again. I do get a kick out of it every now and then, and I do play it when some fans who don't like me come on here and try to, discredit me. I always play it for them. Like last week, I played it, and there was a guy up here who really couldn't deal with the truth. So I want to play it again. Yeah, you brought it up, D-Town, and I hope the audience don't mind, because every time I think about all of these things that we've uncovered thus far through my research and my interviewing and the hard work that we all have put in, it just makes me think about a super chat. And Gregory Quarterbaum is actually in the chat. He's the one that paid to get this question asked. And I know that he's going to email me later and say, come on, Manager Marty, would you stop it? Would you just please stop bringing this up? But I can't. It makes me laugh. It does. And it's going to make you laugh too. I want to play with Victor Conte said. This is what he said. I'm only playing the detail out of context because you said Terrence Crawford said that he knew the guy's history. You see, that's important. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. him, Gregory Quarterbaum. Greg says, greeting, Manager Marty, the roller tape film crew or family, and Mr. Conte. Mr. Conte, did you contact Bud Crawford, or did Bud Crawford contact you? And when did you actually start working with him? And what was it he needed to improve? So let's break this down in increments. Did you contact Bud, or did Bud Crawford contact you?
Okay, as I said earlier, you have these companies out there that for every single fight, I don't know who contracts them, but they go around when they find sponsors and they say, would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Here's how much it's going to cost. I don't know who it was, but somebody that was representing Terrence contacted my office, okay, and wanted some ridiculous amount of money, $50,000 or something crazy for endorsement. I said no.
Wait, you see that? Y'all hear it now. See, we done dealt with this before. But I want to continue to set the foundation. This is, hey, James, you're right. This is bigger than Spence and Crawford. I agree with you. You see, I've been saying that from the beginning. But because people's favorite fighters is over there with the SNAC program, they want to target me and say that I'm only pointing out one fighter, or I'm only pointing out two fighters. No, I'm not. You see, my uncle, Nino Brown, y'all know who my uncle Nino Brown is. He was in the movie New Jack City. Remember, he got on the witness stand and he told y'all, he said, man, hey, this thing bigger than Nino Brown. This thing is bigger than Marty Brown. This thing is bigger than Crawford. This thing is bigger than Spence. So, James, I agree with you. Hold on for a minute. So we know now there was no such thing as an endorsement deal on the table. I just want to make sure we clear on that. I got a lot of backlash when Terrence Crawford fans was here on this channel 7, 8, 9 months ago, telling me, probably longer than that, telling me that Terrence Crawford called Victor Conte because what? It was because he was looking for a sponsorship, an endorsement deal. Right, Detail?
That's right.
Well, you heard Victor Conte say, no, 50,000, no. All right, what else happened? Come on, Victor, keep on telling.
Thereafter, at some point, Terrence called, and I talked with Terrence.
What did he say, Vic?
Aside from this guy.
What did he say?
And then Terrence, on his own, he basically said, this is Terrence, and you don't have to sell me on anything. I already know what you do. I've been following you, and I'd like to work with you, blah, blah, blah.
What the? You don't have to sell me on anything. That's what he said. That's what he said, dog. Listen, don't get mad at the messenger. If the pizza store messed up your order, why are you getting mad at the delivery driver? I didn't make none of your food. Don't get mad at me. I'm just Why get mad at the mailman or the mailwomen because they deliver your gas and your electric bill and you don't want to pay it? Don't get mad at them. That's all I'm saying. D-Town, did you hear what Victor Conte said?
Oh, many times I heard it.
He said, hey, you ain't got to sell me on anything. I know your history. I know what you're about. I want in. Hold on, there's more. Hold on. Here goes some more.
And so we had a brief talk. Then...
Stop. Did you hear him? I'm going to rewind this. Some people missed it. We got to deal with this. Hold on. I ain't asking you for no... Hold on. Hold on. Oh! What else he do, Victor?
And so we had a brief talk.
We had a brief talk. Y'all better keep that in your mind. He said, we had a brief talk. What's up, Michael Dangerfield? I see you. Cash Crypto, I see you. He said, we had a brief talk. Stay right there with that thought process and don't move. He said, we had a brief talk. Him and Terrence Crawford had a brief talk. Hold on.
Then he called Demetrius Andrade. He didn't tell me he was going to do that. And Demetrius said, trust me, you want to be with this guy. He will help you in many, many ways. Whatever Demetrius said, he vouched for me. And then Terrence called back and said, I'm in. I want to be with you and SNAC.
I'm in. I want to be with you and SNAC. That what Victor Conte said. Don't get mad at us.
But you remember, Manager Marty, when we said that Terrence Crawford was dealing with Victor Conte, and they fought us tooth and nail and told us he ain't. As soon as Terrence Crawford came out and said it, they bowed down. Yes, master. Yes, master. He just getting a deal. Victor Conte paying him. Then you showed him that Victor Conte said, I ain't paying this dude no $50,000. Terrence Crawford said, you ain't got to sell me on nothing. I'm in. So we didn't prove them wrong the whole time that Terrence Crawford wanted to deal with Victor Conte, and I believe it's because he didn't believe in his skills and ability that he could beat Errol Spence. That man needed help. Everybody that deal with Victor Conte need help. He said, give me the top 10 guys, and I can make them number one. How can you make them number one? What are you giving him? Man.
Hey, D-Town, you right about it, brother. I've been trying to tell the people. D-Town, we're going to move on. I know some people getting mad, but y'all going to be all right. Hold on. What my man Michael Dangerfield say? He said, I'd rather be with you and all your... That what Crawford told Victor. Hey, y'all funny in the chat. What did he say? Victor said that, how long was the conversation that Victor had with Crawford? He said
brief.
A brief.
It was brief.
He said we had a brief conversation, a brief talk. Brief. This is what happened after the brief conversation. And then when he called you back, Victor, come on, keep on telling, like you've been doing. What'd he do?
All right, so the first step, as we've always talked about, is let's get your blood testing. Because if all I am is...
Let's get your blood tested. That's what he said. So after having a brief conversation with this man, the first thing they had to do was draw that blood. All over a brief conversation, a brief talk, short conversation. All it took was a short conversation, a brief dialogue with Victor Conte to get this man, an athlete, to allow a man in Victor Conte, who we all know is not medically qualified to interpret blood or provide any health recommendations. He allowed the man to draw blood, interpret his blood, give him special recommendations, give him all sorts of products and whatever else he's giving him off of a brief conversation. You know how hard it is to convince somebody that you trust them after a brief dialogue with them? You meet a stranger on the street, and you and a stranger have a brief conversation. I want to be able to be sure about this. Would you allow that stranger, after I'm in my brief conversation, I mean like 10-minute conversation, all of a sudden now this stranger is spending 3-4 nights at your house. You don't know nothing about them, but you're sharing all your personal information with them. Usually that doesn't happen. There's more dialogue that takes place. There's more connection. There's more camaraderie that takes place before that happens. So all I'm saying is, a number one athlete is willing to give a non-medically qualified person his blood result, that means that he's able to see everything in this man's system, everything in this man's body. D-Town, where they do this at?
I guess in Omaha and some of these other places. I mean, I don't remember my brother, my brother in the chat, Greg, I don't remember him giving no blood up for no snack products. YSM Sports Media? No. Band Up? No. So what else was he getting? What did he need the blood for? I mean, I understand if you got to go to the doctor and they have to, interpret what's going on in your blood to give you certain things. But I believe it's something in that back door. That door in the very back?
Yeah, with the caution tape on it.
The one with the caution tape on there say, beware, stay away.
Do not enter.
Do not enter.
For employees only.
At your own risk.
Bathroom out of service. Ain't nothing messed up in the bathroom, but it keep on being out of service when I come in there. Okay. Double salute to my guy, J-Star72, member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll to Take film crew. Thank you for your contribution and your support, J-Star. J-Star says, I'm not understanding why the fighters that's not on the SNAC program is still willing to fight the ones that's on the SNAC program. J-Star, it's because most people just hear the words of Victor Conte and call him an expert, and then they just believe everything he says. And if he tell y'all to go do VADA testing, some boxers just listen to him and they just go over there and do
it. Did they not believe that? They thought that Victor Conte was a part of VADA, and he's not. Just by Victor Conte's words. Now, Victor Conte never said he was. By the way he was talking about VADA and how he said that he the one who helped VADA to become VADA, or helped the president of VADA to link up with the president of WADA, he made people think that he was part of VADA, and he wasn't. So a lot of people thought that this man was all be all, just like we thought it was random testing. We thought Tszyu was Tszyu by what he said, until you interviewed him and made this man come out and say that Tszyu is not Tszyu and random testing is not random testing.
I made him come out and pour that out because we all thought it was random, right?
Yeah.
And I pressed the envelope. I kept my foot on the gas in the second interview. And finally, he even came out and admitted that there's no such thing as random. Even though on his Twitter account, I'm talking about Victor Conte, he keeps telling everybody random stringent testing. So this is no, hyperbole here. We're looking at all the facts and we're putting it out there. But y'all who don't like this, y'all keep getting mad at me. Y'all that don't like this, y'all keep getting mad at D-Town. And y'all keep getting mad at the people that support, especially in the chat, the Roll to Take film crew members. Don't get mad at us. Your favorite fighter chose to go over there. Go ask him why. Because when I ask, I don't get no answers. I don't get no response. Go ask these guys, why did you go over there with Victor Conte? If you knew the guy's history. Terrence Crawford told Victor Conte, this is Victor Conte's words. He said, I know your history. The question becomes, what is Victor Conte's history? What is his history? I mean, please don't say what Israel tried to say last week. He tried to say Victor Conte's been an advocate of anti-doping, and I asked him to prove it. And we still don't have no proof of this. So besides all of the hearsay and the talking, what other evidence can we substantiate that he's an anti-doping advocate? I'm more of an anti-doping advocate than him. D-Town Boxing is more of an anti-doping advocate than him. So the only history that we know of that Victor Conte supplies performance enhancement drugs. That's his history. Now, we can't pinpoint, say, he's doing it now. Yeah, he's doing it now. But the thing is, we need answers. And we got the answers of our questions answered. Double salute. 2 Cents Boxing, member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll to Take film crew. Welcome, 2 Cents. We looked at the fighters. We saw what we see. That's the first piece of the puzzle. Victor Conte came up here twice, 5-hour dialogue within a matter of 6 days. I've done several videos where we saw a lot of the contradictions in the things that he said. In fact, I even pointed a few of the contradictions out, and he even admitted that I was correct. So not only that, that's the second piece of the puzzle. And then Dr. Margaret Goodman, the founder and president and CEO of VADA, she was here last week, and she answered some questions that I asked her. And so now all three of the pieces to the puzzle is laid down. What else y'all want me to do? I've done my job. And now we are here. So I know that people keep saying, oh, people just mad because Errol Spence lost. He got beat up. That's why. No. No. David Evanesian got knocked out with one punch. Cold. He was asleep. Nobody can tell me in the welterweight division how many fighters did Terrence Crawford knock out with one punch. I'm talking about out cold. There's no evidence that there was VADA testing. I've already proven this time and time again. So the deal is now is we're just doing a recap. If you just came in, you might try to figure out what we're talking about. We're talking about the recap of the VADA testing protocols, procedures, based on the interview I conducted with Margaret Goodman. Some people didn't get a chance to see it. Some people did see it, but they didn't get a chance to come out and say, you know what I mean, that this is what they heard and this is what, you know, they concluded. So I'm giving that opportunity again. I like that because I think somebody said that, I think that was Harlem a couple of weeks ago, said something about MADA. He said, let's do MADA. Yeah, hey, why not? Let's do MADA. We're going to do Marty, Manager Marty Anti-Doping Agency. How does that sound? Manager Marty Anti-Dope. That sounds too much like MAGA. You know, some people get mad when you say MAGA. So MADA. But Harlem says Marty and D-Town Anti-Dope. Either way you slice it, I might even come out with my own agency after all of this. Why not? Hey, we know what VADA does. I made Margaret Goodman admit. I said, mediator, she didn't like the word. She said middleman. In other words, is VADA, they just collect all the money. And then they hire the DCOs to collect the blood and urine samples. They ship it off. They, meaning the DCOs, they ship it off after they collect it from the athlete. Then they're using a WADA accredited lab, so they're not performing the testing procedures, nor do they control the protocol of the testing. They just the middleman. Hey, why not? I come out with my own MADA. You know what I mean? We do MADA. We got USADA, WADA, VADA, and then MADA. We come out with that, and then we'll be the middleman and see if we can, you know, hey, anti-doping. We can clean this whole thing up.
Well, guess what? Victor Conte, he ain't coming over here.
He ain't coming over here. Well, we ain't gonna clean it up because IGF-1 and LR3, there's no testing for it. We don't know who's using it. We don't know who's on insulin growth factor 1 LR3. There's no test for it, and it's undetectable. We don't know. Double salute to Estelle. Thank you for your Cash App. And the Cash App message said for YouTube, let me make sure I read it right because I don't want to misinterpret. For YouTube, YouTube is really messing up your channel. Thank you, Estelle, for your contribution and your support to the channel. You are absolutely correct. YouTube has been messing up this channel for months and months and months, and they're messing up the money, and they're messing up the viewership. And you know what? In boxing, there's no excuses. I still come on here week after week, like everything is cool. It's all good, and I appreciate the audience that I have. Now, let's get on to some more impressive business. Terrence Crawford, his name came up detailed boxing. I mean, Sebastian Fundora couldn't even get 48 hours, man, to enjoy his victory, being a new champion. Because people was bringing up Terrence Crawford's name. Because Terrence Crawford, on X, formerly known as Twitter, he tweeted and said that Errol Spence need to get in the back of the line, buddy. You lost. In other words, is he's saying that he should be the one fighting Sebastian Fundora next, not Errol Spence, because Errol Spence jumped in the ring. And there was a dialogue with him and Sebastian Fundora. And then, of course, my guy, Samson Lukowicz, the promoter of Fundora, was right there in the middle of it all. And they was talking about fighting next. He didn't get an opportunity, in my opinion, to really enjoy his victory. Why? Because now the WBO, they got involved. And they said, hey, we're going to send an email out to Fundora's promoter, to Terrence Crawford's representative. We're going to see if we can get these guys to negotiate to make Terrence Crawford the mandatory to fight Fundora next, because Fundora holds the WBO 154-pound title, and he just didn't get an opportunity to get more than 48 hours of his victory without people bringing up Terrence Crawford's name. So at this point, we're here now. What's your take on it? You played the video on your channel earlier where Sebastian Fundora's promoter, and I can replay it right now if the people that are here did not hear it. Sebastian Fundora's promoter said some things about Terrence Crawford. I'll let you air fry and cook on that. What happened with Sebastian Fundora in the interview? He was bringing up Terrence Crawford's name and about the process of what Terrence Crawford was asking for. So what happened with that? And tell us what your take is on
it. Sebastian promoter was on the Boxing Voice, and they asked him about will Sebastian do the rematch with Tszyu because it's in the contract, or will he fight Errol Spence Jr. or Terrence Crawford? And he said that most likely they're going to fight Tszyu in a rematch because they have a rematch in the clause. And he say, are you talking about after y'all fight Errol Spence, you go give him a shot? He said, no. We just going to do the right thing and do the rematch. He said at the time of the fight, after the fight, when he said they was going to fight Errol Spence instead of fighting Terrence Crawford or Tszyu, he said that he was in a hype. You know, he was happy. He was emotional, and he said that no, we gonna do the right thing. We gonna do the rematch and fight Tszyu. But he said we ain't fighting Terrence Crawford. He said this man don't have a network or a promoter, and he wants to be the co-promotion, and he said this man trying to fight too. He trying to do everything. This man must be a transformer or something. He said, no, Terrence Crawford is asking for $15 million just to step in the ring. He said this man don't sell. He said, why would we let this man get paid more than Sebastian? Then they came up and said, well, what about when Shakur Stevenson, I forgot the guy name who Shakur Stevenson fought, and I believe that guy had a belt, if I'm not mistaken. And he said Shakur Stevenson got more money than that guy, and that guy had the belt. He said, but the difference in between the guy who had the belt and Shakur Stevenson and Fundora, he said, we got options. He said, that guy didn't have no options. He said, we got options. We could fight Errol Spence Jr., or we could do the rematch with Tszyu. He said, that's the difference. They were like, oh yeah, okay, cool. He said, but there's no way. He said that Terrence Crawford ego gets in the way. And he believes that he's Canelo and Floyd Money Mayweather. See, what Crawford is saying, and it was in a tweet, that he said that he's going to change the way of boxing. He's going to do away with promoters and managers and do it himself. Well, dang, Crawford, how can you dictate anything when you don't have a promoter or a network? Who going to put up the money in the purse bid? Like you were saying, Manager Marty, who going to put up the money? You, Terrence Crawford? He got it, but is he going to do it? I don't think so. So they said if they're gonna do the right thing and they're gonna fight and do the rematch with Tszyu.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Let's talk about it. From a business perspective, right? People say that Terrence Crawford should fight this person. Errol Spence should fight this person. And Tszyu should fight this person. And Sebastian Fundora should fight this person, since we're talking about those four guys. And the thing about it is very simple. Who is the network? That's what I wanted. That's my first question. Because the networks are the one who bankroll the majority of these fights, if not all of them. That's where the promoter get the check from. So if there is no promoter and if there's no network, then there is no check. So if somebody's misunderstanding, oh, well, Terrence Crawford said he's willing to fight Sebastian Fundora, he won 15 million. And if Sebastian Fundora say no, then he's a duck. No. That's not how this works. We have still yet to hear Terrence Crawford himself officially say that he's moving up to 154. I mean, isn't he still the 147-pound champion?
Yep, that's
So
he's still holding on to belts.
So he's still holding on to the belts. He is the welterweight champion of the world. He has 3 of the 4 belts, right? So if he owns 3 of the last 4 titles in the welterweight division, then that means he's the welterweight champion. He has yet to officially move up in weight yet. So if that is the case, why are we talking about him fighting at 54 if he haven't even officially moved up yet? And that's number one. Number two, if he's going to move up, he needs to vacate the titles and go on and let Jerron Boots Ennis go ahead and defend his IBF title and fight any of these guys, because Terrence Crawford don't want to fight Boots Ennis. We already know this. It's no secret. He don't want to fight him. So if he don't want to fight him at 147, there's no reason. Because the last time I checked, and I said this last week, and I'm going to spin the block on this, Terrence Crawford was in an interview a month or 2 after the fight with him and Errol Spence. And he said the winner of the fight between him and Spence had the benefit and the luxury to choose the weight in the rematch. Did you hear him say that, Detail Boxing?
Yep.
So that means that Errol Spence wanted to move up to 54. He been saying it, and he said it at the post-fight press conference, right? Okay, great. He said he couldn't make the weight he wanted to fight in the rematch with Crawford at 154. But Terrence Crawford didn't want to go to 54. People had Terrence Crawford homie on their channels. I don't know, and he tweeted this and that, right? So that was the first thing we heard. Now after that, the next thing was, oh, Terrence Crawford going to fight Canelo Alvarez. We heard Terrence Crawford say in an interview that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. Do you remember that, Detail Boxing?
Yep.
Okay, then. Nobody brought up Charlo at that time. Nobody brought up Fundora at that time at 154. No one brought up Sebastian Fundora's name. Nobody brought up Charlo's name. Nobody brought up Tszyu's name. These guys was at 54. No, these guys that I just named, them 3 guys, was at 154 pounds. None of y'all even brought up, oh, maybe Terrence Crawford should fight these guys since he's not fighting Spence. You know what y'all said? Some of you, not all of you. Man, he about to fight Canelo. He can still fight Canelo now, right? What it sounds like to me, and I said this the other day. I said this on Monday. I'm going to say it again. This is the same thing that happened. Check what the WBO did last year. They sent an email to Eric Gomez, who represents Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy promotion on behalf of who? Alexis Rocha. Remember? And not only that, this is right after Terrence Crawford fought David Ebenezer, this last February. And then they sent it to Ish Henson, who was representing Crawford, and said, look, I'm going to mandate that y'all both fight each other. They knew that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence was going to go into negotiations again and fight. So what was that about? Was they trying to stop that fight from happening by injecting themselves by saying, hey, Terrence Crawford, 147-pound WBO champion. So we have jurisdiction over him in the welterweight division. We want him to fight Alexis Rocha. This was literally a month after we saw Terrence Crawford in the picture with Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya when he went to LA in their offices. Right or wrong, detail?
Right.
Okay. Now, with that being stated, it seems like the WBO is doing it again. They're injecting themselves again, putting Terrence Crawford in the mix. Now they're doing it in a way where they don't have jurisdiction over Terrence Crawford. He's a 147-pound WBO champion. They have jurisdiction over Crawford in the welterweight division, not at 154 pounds. So how can they then turn around and tell a 154-pound WBO champion in Sebastian Fundora that he's going to have to fight Terrence Crawford next and be mandated to do so? They don't have jurisdiction over Crawford. You know what's interesting about that? They have so much jurisdiction over Fundora because he's carrying their belt at 54. Can't they exercise that same authority and jurisdiction with Terrence Crawford at 147 when he's carrying their belt?
Exactly.
Okay, so what the problem be? This is not rocket science. Think about it. They have jurisdiction and authority over Sebastian because he's a WBO champion at 154. But they have authority and jurisdiction over Terrence Crawford at 147. He holds their title. They're not mandating him to defend that title, are they? At 47, I'm talking about. No. So then what are we talking about? Now, $15 million, let's speak on that. Sebastian Fundora's promoter. Oh, go ahead.
Like I said, I had did a video. Somebody was saying, what's the difference in between Terrence Crawford not fighting his mandatory and he got stripped for the IBL, then Sebastian not fighting his mandatory, and they trying to strip him of his belt. But both of these guys had a rematch clause in their fight. They didn't say nothing about Terrence Crawford not fighting Boots. And somebody say, well, Terrence Crawford had a rematch with Errol Spence. Well, Fundora got a rematch with Tszyu, and they trying to strip him. I don't believe they will, but the deal is, if it's good for Sebastian and y'all saying that he's ducking, then it's safe to say that Terrence Crawford was ducking Boots because both of them have a rematch clause. And I believe that the IBF stripped Terrence Crawford because, like you said, that they believed that the fight wasn't going to happen between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford because he had a 60-day suspension and then he had to do the eye surgery. So they probably looked at it and talked to those guys like, man, the fight might not happen, so we can squeeze a fight in. Terrence Crawford didn't want to fight. He made excuses and they stripped him. Now you got people saying that Sebastian is afraid of Terrence Crawford. This man has a rematch clause. So if you did say it for Terrence Crawford, then why are you saying it for Sebastian? I mean, these boys, they don't make any sense.
And we still don't have any evidence that Terrence Crawford was talking to Tszyu. Because like I told y'all before, and I heard you mention this in your video detail, I've said it already. I said this last weekend. I'm going to say it again. If Terrence Crawford and Tszyu was negotiating and maybe they was going to fight, cool, no problem. I think that's good, no problem. But how come Sebastian Fundora got the call at the last minute? I'm just asking the question. Now, somebody can say, oh, man, Terrence Crawford wasn't going to be no last-minute replacement. Why would he have to? I'm just saying, if they was already in negotiation and Keith Thurman gets injured. He's out of the deal. He's out of the picture. He's out of the fight. You already negotiating with a guy. Call him up. Is the pay-per-view fighting? Oh, I know. I know what happened. Yeah. Because they wasn't ever in no real negotiations first place. But y'all get it when y'all keep listening to me break down the business of boxing. You'll get it. Now,
Randy said that there's no rematch, but in the clause. Well, the deal is they had
who?
it's a guy named Randy. I guess his name Randy. Whatever. He's saying that it's not a rematch. But when you listen to Fundora promoter, he said that they had talks of a rematch, and he said that he going to give Tszyu the rematch. So if it wasn't a rematch, what are you talking about? It was a conversation that they had that they said that we're going to give the rematch. So if it wasn't a rematch, then why are they giving them the rematch then?
This is another representation of not just Fundora, but boxing. He's a representative of boxing. Take his word for it. I'm a representative of boxing. Take my word for it. Because if we say it, we have evidence of it. When we talk, I'm talking about business. I'm not talking about hearsay from a YouTube channel. I'm talking about business from people that's involved in this, who have experience in doing business in boxing. I mean, how can you discredit a person that's in the business, who's been in the business, but you're going to listen to a YouTuber who all they do is pick their phone up and just do videos and don't know anything about the business or the sport of boxing? They read news articles and clips from Mike Coppinger, Mike Benson, Dan Raphael. Then they go listening to everybody else's channel. They're going to try to get on their own like they're the real experts. Come on, that don't make no sense. That's all I'm saying. Double salute to my guy, JStar72. Thank you for your support and contribution again, JStar. JStar says, look, I love me some boxing, but if Crawford ain't fighting Spence in a rematch at 154 or Boots at 147, I can't support him. And you got to respect, you got to respect that. That's JStar72. You got to respect what he's saying. Some people have their own perspective, but that's JStar's perspective. Gregory Quarterbomb, double salute to you. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. Greg says, Bud mistakes are showing up again. He was right to get himself mandated to be the mandatory at 154. I believe he can get the funding, but he should have gotten a broadcast partner. Well, who is he going to get the funding from, Mr. Greg? I mean, another hedge fund? He told us before, he learned his lesson from that. He told us that. He learned his lesson from that. So now that we got that out the way, hedge fund ain't going to work. Who else is going to put the money up? See, in other words, is this is how it works. In boxing, this is what we understand. Promoters, managers, this is what we understand. We understand how much the fight costs, not for you fans. In other words, it's how much the fight is worth on the open market. You know, we got to know what is the demand for the fight between this fighter and that fighter, and who's going to pay for it. Because any fighter can say, man, I want 10 million. Well, where's it going to come from? It's the same thing I said about Canelo. Remember 2 weeks ago when Canelo said, oh, I'll fight David Benavidez 150, 200 million. Okay, so this was my question. And I asked y'all this before. If Canelo's making $150 million, how much is the promoter making? In that environment, in that scenario, how much is the promoter making? If he's making 150, because if the promoter is not profiting, that's not good business. Now, somebody's going to say, oh, Manager Marty, here you go again, just making stuff up. Okay, I'm going to take Bob Arum's words when he used them against Terrence Crawford. Remember, he said the amount of money that he lost promoting Terrence Crawford, he could have got a house or a mansion built in Beverly Hills. That's what Bob Arum said. The promoter said that. We're not in business to lose money. We're in business to, first and foremost, recoup on our initial investment, and then make a profit. That's business 101. It's not rocket science. So if Canelo gonna make 150, how much the promoter gonna make? Now that we got that out the way, it's the same thing that applies with Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford won 15 million, who's gonna pay for it? Because don't forget, if they pay Terrence, anybody, when I say they, pay Terrence Crawford 15 million, they gotta still pay Sebastian Fundora. The promoter, the network, they still have to pay the fighters on the undercards. I'm including per diem. I'm including airfare, round trip, 2 or 3 tickets at least. I'm talking about hotel stay. This is for all the fighters. See, it's not just 15 million for one fighter. For the, medical exams for each fighter on the card. See, this thing is big and it's more expensive. I was just throwing it out there to give you a little bit of education. It's not just 15 million for one fighter. So if Terrence Crawford wants that, somebody's got to pay for that. For one fighter, there's more expenses involved. And don't forget the sanctioning bodies, because there's belts on the line, right? The sanctioning bodies, they have to receive their money. I'm not talking about from the fighters yet. That's from the fighters' purses. I'm teaching y'all something. That's why I'm glad you're here. You ain't gonna find this information nowhere else on YouTube. That's why I'm glad you're here. You know why? Because they don't know. That's why I'm glad you're here. The promoters still have to pay fees to secure the sanction of the WBO for this fight. That's not free. Somebody got to pay for that. That's before the fighters even step in the ring. And then there's a venue. See, there's so many things that go into promoting the boxing event on the business side of it. And that's why I'm glad you're here, so I can educate you on it. So with that being said, if you have a fighter, and I'm not putting Crawford down, we're just talking facts right now. If you have a fighter like a Terrence Crawford, who we know has a history of not selling well on pay-per-view, if you're demanding 15 million, you gotta let the networks be assured and reassured. How are we gonna make just that alone back? Forget the all other expense, just paying you. How are we gonna make that back? And then how are we gonna profit? Now you can prove to us that your live gate gonna do real good. Talking about the promoters now. You can prove to us that the pay-per-view streams are gonna be real good. The ancillary rights, real good. The foreign rights, the closed circuit rights. That stuff y'all know. That's why y'all here. Glad you here. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. That's why I'm glad y'all here today. If you can show us this, when we put this money out, oh man, we can rock out all day. And we can make more than the monies we gotta put out. We gotta make a profit. This is called good business. When you got a guy who can't sell outside of Nebraska is what I'm saying. And I'm talking about with the right opponent. That's why all fighters need the right dance partner. You got to have the right dance partner. Somebody like an Errol Spence, we've seen him fight in multiple venues. We've seen Errol Spence make multi-millions of dollars for all parties involved. He can make a demand like that. He can. The justification for it would be Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium. Because it's bigger than even Las Vegas. It's bigger than even the T-Mobile Arena. So I'm just giving perspective so that when we think about, okay, he can go to the Saudis. No problem. He can, hey, if the Saudis is willing to put up all that money, fine. But guess what? Here's where the issue's going to come in at. The issue going to come in that y'all don't be buying the fights. Some of you Crawford fans, y'all don't even support your favorite fighter. Not just him. You should support all of. If you are a fan of boxing, you should support all the boxers. Buy the pay-per-view. Stop committing piracy, stealing the fights, and then complaining under the same breath saying, we don't never get the fights we want. But you stealing the fights. You can't have it both ways.
Couldn't even buy a t-shirt. Oh, man.
And I'm not promoting it. Do what you do. Do what you do. If you want to stream the fight for free, listen, I ain't none of my business. All I'm saying is support the fighters. Pay to see the fights. If you a boxing fan, because I haven't heard the Saudis call for Bud. I heard them mention Tank David name in the interview. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard them want Deontay Wilder out there to fight Joseph Parker. I heard they wanted Ngannou out there to fight Joshua. I heard them talking about Joshua. See, we've seen other fighters go out there and make something happen. I haven't heard them say anything about Terrence Crawford yet. So I'm not saying they're not interested in him. I think that's a good look for him. Hey, if he can go out there and convince them to sign a check over, great. Because we want to see good boxing. But when it comes to America, the biggest promotion platform in this country is PBC. Some of y'all might not like that, but that is a fact. That is not an opinion. You can't show me more than one or not even one Golden Boy Promotions. Who's their cash cow over there? Now, somebody's going to say, oh, here you go, Manager Marty, with this. I'm glad y'all brought that up. So now let's use De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions as an example. Who is their cash cow over there? I want you to say Ryan Garcia. That's what I really want you to say that. And I'm glad you said it. Because you are absolutely correct, Ryan Garcia. Now I got a question for you. How many pay-per-views did Ryan Garcia headline so far? One with Tank Davis, and now one in a couple of weeks with Devin Haney. Quick question. How come Ryan Garcia always have to headline a pay-per-view, not once, but this will be his second, in a co-promotion? He's in a co-promotion. He's never been on a live, I'm talking about with a big opponent where Golden Boy Promotions was the #1 promoter and there was no co-promotion. Okay, let's take Matchroom Promotions, Eddie Hearn. Who's their cash cow? I really want you to say Anthony Joshua. I'm just waiting for you to say that. Okay, Anthony Joshua. Who has he fought that had a big name on pay-per-view lately? Who has he fought? I'm talking about they had a big name. I'm not talking about Ngannou, and I'm not talking about that. A big name. All right, then. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's take Top Rank Boxing. Let's take Top Rank. Who they cash cow over there? Over at Top Rank, who's their cash cow right now? You know detail?
I hope they ain't saying Shakur Stevenson.
Well, they're in a co-promotion with Fury, so. But who has they put on their card with a big name fighter? Now, somebody's going to say, well, Fury fought Wilder. You're right. I said PBC name on that banner, didn't it?
Yeah, sure did.
Oh, okay, then. So all I'm saying is PBC is the #1 promotion company in America.
Yep.
It's nothing to be mad about. This is just good business. They have the product. They got Android and iPhones. And the other promoters got Boost Mobile. Y'all know what time it is. So all I'm saying is we want to see good fights, and I believe good fights will happen this year on PBC. Hey, look, Munguia fighting Canelo Alvarez. Now, some of y'all kept saying, oh, man, Canelo, he finally left PBC. Man, he done left the PBC, and Al Heyman did bad business. what fight is this fight with Munguia and Canelo happening on D-Town? What promotion company leading this thing?
You saying the McGee and Canelo?
Yeah.
Ain't Canelo still signed with the PBC?
Yeah, this gonna be on PBC. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the PBC.
We have to give credit where it is due. And since we're talking about PBC, let's talk about Errol Spence. Let's talk about him. He's under the PBC banner. It's an easy fight to make with him and Sebastian Fundora. Easy fight for him to make with Terrence Crawford. It's an easy fight for him to make with either one of them. You know why? Because when both of them fight Errol Spence, they're going to get their biggest payday.
Exactly.
And that's not an opinion. Yep. That is a known fact.
Exactly.
So, if Terrence Crawford going to move up to 154, he should fight Errol Spence. If nobody want to see that fight, and when I say nobody, I mean the fans. If the networks don't want to see that fight and they don't want to pay for it, then hey, we got to move on. We have to move on. It's about the networks. See, because once the networks give the check to the promoter, they're going to sit back and do all the production and say, hey, we want to make sure we can profit off of that. And if they don't think there's a profit in the rematch that can be made with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, then guess what? Let the fight not happen. Let it not happen. But I know for sure, that if Tszyu going to fight Sebastian Fundora in the rematch, the winner going to fight Errol Spence. It's called good business. Now, of course, the WBO can come in and they can do all the stuff that they're doing, but how they going to stop a rematch, though? How they going to stop a rematch? Okay. They can't mandate Crawford to fight Fundora if he's in the rematch, contractually speaking, to fight Tszyu again. They can't stop that. They don't have any jurisdiction to do that. It goes against their own policies. All I'm saying is the bigger draw is Errol Spence over Terrence Crawford when it comes to Fundora. It's not about just talent, because some people will say, well, he beat Errol Spence, so now Errol Spence got to get in the back of the line. I spoke on this Monday. I'm going to speak on it again. If it's all about just wins and losses, then guess what? Sebastian Fundora would have never got an opportunity to fight Tszyu in the first place. In his last fight, didn't he get knocked out by Brian Mendoza?
Yep.
Last year in March of 2023? What about Rolly Romero? Rolly Romero got knocked out by Tank Davis. And his next fight was for a vacant title. And he became a world champion, right? Okay, then. So this is nothing new. This is how boxing has been working for the last, almost, I would say like 8 years, where you can lose a fight, gain fans, and guess what? You can be in your next fight, you can fight for a world title. It's all about having good representation. Good representation in this business is priceless. I keep telling y'all that. So question, D-Town, what's next for Terrence Crawford since Tszyu and Fundora might, and I'm only quotating because that's what Sebastian Fundora's promoter said, that's what they're interested in, to honor that. So if Terrence Crawford is on the outside, Tszyu might fight Fundora in the rematch. In your opinion, what happens next for Terrence Crawford?
He could go ahead and fight their rematch with Errol Spence. You know, according to Stephen Espinosa, he said that when Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford talked, I guess both of them put their heads together, and I guess Terrence Crawford didn't want to wait on Errol Spence, for his eye surgery, the healing process of his eye. So Errol Spence like, you know what, I'm not going to hold you up. But Terrence Crawford is willing to wait till the end of the year to fight Sebastian. Well, why he couldn't wait on Errol Spence? So what I believe that might happen is that if Terrence Crawford really want to fight 100% or a healthy Errol Spence at 154, then go ahead and fight him. Or I'm hearing that they might make a mandatory at 147 for Terrence Crawford to fight his mandatory at 147. That's what I'm hearing.
All right. So now I ask you the question about Errol Spence. If Fundora and Tszyu fight in the rematch, Terrence Crawford, you said about him. Now Errol Spence, he's on the outside. What should he do next if he fights at 154?
If Tszyu and Fundora fight,
Yeah.
he should get that rematch with Terrence Crawford, or look whoever at 154 that he's willing to fight until he's able to get a shot at the winner, of Tszyu or Sebastian. I mean, I don't, like I said, I can't say Terrence Crawford really, because I don't know what weight class that he in. I mean, the man, 1 minute he's at 168, talking about going to 168. Next minute he talking about he's at 147. Next minute he talking about one. We don't know what Terrence Crawford at. So, for Errol Spence, fight Terrence Crawford in a rematch at 154, not 147, because we know that's what Terrence Crawford wanted to fight Errol Spence at. If he can't get that, then see who's next at 154 that he can fight for the meanwhile, get the rust off of him and stuff. But we all knew that something was wrong with Errol Spence. So I want to see that rematch with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence so we can show these fans that we was right all along, And I also want to see if Terrence Crawford will stop dealing with Victor Conte. We want to see if that red flag goes away. See if he, since they say it's going to be easy work, let's see if Terrence Crawford decided to say, Victor Conte, I'm going to do this on my own. Because you remember Victor Conte even said, and I think it was Victor Conte or it was me and you. Me and you said that Victor Conte, I think, should have told Terrence Crawford, look, your skills and abilities are good. You're a good fighter. So won't you just go fight Errol Spence and prove to the world you're a good fighter? You don't need me. I think that was me and you talking about that.
Yeah.
But let's see if Terrence Crawford can do that. Let's see if he can say, you know what? I think I got it, Victor Conte. I appreciate what you did, but let me go and show the world that I could beat Errol Spence on my own. So it's many different ways, but I think that Errol Spence, he should fight Terrence Crawford in a rematch or see who's next. If Terrence Crawford decided to go down to 147 and fight his mandatory at 147.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think Terrence Crawford will ever leave the SNAC program in Victor Conte.
I don't think either. I don't think he believes in himself enough to leave him. Mostly, even Devin Haney and all these guys. I don't think that I want them, believe it, because we know that Terrence Crawford them know about his history. So they like, man, I'm gonna go holler at this guy, man. That I heard that man say, give me the top 10 and I can make them number one. So they like, shoot, man, I ain't gonna jump in that ring with Earl Spence, man. Because if that's the case, why do he need him? He should just win and fight Earl Spence. People, they keep saying that Terrence Crawford is getting older. Errol Spence is getting older. He don't need Victor Conte. Devin Haney, why he need him? He talking about that. His daddy talking about he can beat Floyd Money Mayweather and all that. So why are y'all saying this and feeling so confident after y'all start dealing with Victor Conte? Did that man give you some kind of confidence pill or something? I mean, last time I checked, Terrence Crawford, when they asked him a while back before the Errol Spence fight, asked him, would you fight Canelo in a higher weight class? He said, no, I'm not going to go up there and fight him. Soon as he started dealing with Victor Conte, he talking about going to 168 to fight Canelo. So something changed. Something changed.
Did you see Gregory Quarterbaum's comment?
Well, we all know Greg, man. Greg, he's our big brother, man. We always got to go against our big brother, man. That's his opinion. But tell Greg to go holler at his boy, Terrence Crawford, go in this little Twitter fingers, and tell a dude, hey, go holler at Errol Spence in the rematch, and don't use Victor Conte. Tell him, go holler at him. I mean, telling me, that ain't gonna help. Telling you it ain't gonna help. Go holler at your boy and tell him to quit hollering at Victor Conte and show the world that he can do it. That's it.
I'm gonna tell you what he said. He said EJ was never going to beat Bud, nor will EJ be 100% again.
We've been through this. We've been with this with Big Brother. We know where he stands, but at the end of the day, we will never know because the man ain't gonna leave.
The SNAC program works.
We're not hating on Bud. We just giving you the real information, and y'all don't want to receive it. That's just what it is. See, Crawford fans come over to this channel, come over to our channels to get the truth. Y'all can't get that over there because there's a lot of hocus pocus over there. Y'all have to come to us to be educated about the truth. Then y'all run to the other channels and use what we said and make yourself seem like you smart. But the whole time you came over here and got our information, real research, instead of a whole bunch of opinions. But y'all saying that we hating on him. It's not hating on him. What about Terrence Crawford? He was hating on all the PBC fighters when he was with Bob Arum. Did y'all say he was hating on him? No, you didn't. So stop the cap. If you don't want to hear it, there you go.
I mean, JY, you know I'm not hating on Bud Crawford. Randy, you know I'm not. A lot of you guys, y'all wouldn't even be over here if I was a hater. So let's not do that. But I know it's one of the defense mechanisms of you guys to keep trying to insult me and say I'm hating. And that's okay. I'm used to it by now. The thing about it is the truth, because they keep asking me, what's the truth? They see it, they telling me in the chat, what is the truth? The truth is, all right, I know what to do. All right, you asked for it, Randy. Y'all keep asking for it. I'm gonna give it to you now. I gave it to them earlier, but they wasn't here, D-Town. I know what's happening. I see what's going on. They wasn't here, so I gotta give it to them again. Hold on, I'm gonna give you truth. That's what you asked for. All right, Greg. These are your guys. These Terrence Crawford fans keep coming to chat. They was late. I already pointed this out. We pointed this out an hour and a half ago. But they want the truth, and I guess we're going to have to give it to them. Salute to him, Gregory Quarterbaum. Greg says, greeting, Manager Marty, the Rosa Tape film crew or family, and Mr. Conte. Mr. Conte, did you contact Buck Crawford, or did Buck Crawford contact you? And when did you actually start working with him, and what was it he needed to improve? So let's break this down in increments. Did you contact Bud, or did Bud Crawford contact you?
Okay, as I said earlier, you have these companies out there that for every single fight, I don't know who contracts them, but they go around when they find sponsors and they say, would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Here's how much it's going to cost. I don't know who it was, but somebody that was representing Terrence contacted my office, okay, and wanted some ridiculous amount of money, $50,000 or something crazy for endorsement. I said no.
So we know it wasn't a sponsorship deal. Victor Conte turned the offer down. He said no. Hold on.
Thereafter, at some point, Terrence called, and I talked with Terrence.
What did he say, Vic?
Aside from this guy.
What did he say?
And then Terrence, on his own, he basically said, this is Terrence, and you don't have to sell me on anything. I already know what you do. I've been following you, and I'd like to work with you, blah, blah, blah.
What? That's, hey, you wanted to hear it, right? There it is. Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is.
You don't have to sell me on anything. I've been following you. I know your history. I want in. Hold on.
That dude was like Ezel. Got that stuff. Ezel, that dude.
And so we had a brief talk. Then he called Demetrius Andrade He didn't tell me he was going to do that. And Demetrius said, trust me, you want to be with this guy. He will help you in many, many ways. Whatever Demetrius said, he vouched for me. And then Terrence called back and said, I'm in. I want to be with you. And
wow. Errol Spence scared that dude to go see Victor Conte, man. Dang, that dude was that afraid of Errol Spence?
So I have a question. JY, Randy Watson, a lot of you guys that's in the chat call me a hater. I have a question. I just have just one for now. What is Victor Conte's history? You said truth, so now we're going to get to it. He said Terrence Crawford told him, I know your history. I've been following you. You don't have to sell me on anything. So what is Victor Conte's history? Can you tell me that in the chat? Can you enlighten us? JY, Randy Watson, any other Terrence Crawford fan, whoever else. If you're not a Crawford fan or you're a Spence fan, whoever. If you say I'm a hater, I want this answer is from you. The question is for you, and I want the answer to be from you. If I'm a hater, please just answer that question. What is Victor Conte's history? Can you please tell us that? Because he said, Terrence Crawford said, I know your history. You don't have to sell me on anything. I've been following you. I want in. He called Demetrius Andre to get some confirmation. Whatever Demetrius said to him, he confirmed. He called Victor back and said, I want in. I want to be down. So what is Victor Conte's history? Because we try to interpret what Crawford meant when he said, I know your history. I've been following you. I want in. You don't have to sell me on anything. What's his history? Okay, what's his history? Thank you, Greg. I know I'm not a hater. Appreciate it, Greg. I just want to know what his history is. Can somebody, Randy, come on, somebody tell me, what is his history? Okay, so Terrence Crawford fans don't want to answer. Can anybody else answer? He said, I want to be with you. Hey, Cash Crypto, what did he say, Cash? I want to be with you. I want to be with you. What is his history, man? Oh, that's the nutty. Oh, they talking about the nutty buddy. Nobody won't. Don't you start nothing up here, 2 cents. Okay, all right. Thank you. They finally answered. Thank you, JYT. His history is PEDs. What are you alluding to? Oh, no, I'm not alluding to nothing. You said I'm hating. So I'm asking you what is his, because see, Terrence Crawford said, this is what Victor Conte said, you don't have to sell me on anything. I know your history. I know all about you. I've been following you. I want in. So now we got to figure out what his history is. The only thing we know about the guy is what you just said. He has a history in supplying and administering performance enhancement drugs and steroids.
He lacked confidence. He lacked confidence. That's what it is. All them guys lack confidence. How come they can't get it the old way?
That's his history. You can't get mad at me. I didn't make his history up. That's his history. We don't know him to do nothing else. Is there anything else that he's known for detail? Maybe I don't know.
That's it. That's why he had that Hall of Shame. That dude say, give me. Matter of fact, Tim Montgomery was already doing good. Why did Tim Montgomery go to him?
He told
it's because he knew what this man was about. Everybody else that went to Victor Conte in the past, even now, knew what Victor Conte can do. Why you think Victor Conte was supposed to help VADA. You think he told VADA all the information? No. That's why they went with this man. They could have used anybody else, but they decided to use this man because of his history. Terrence Crawford was already doing good. Devin Haney was already doing good. Demetrius Andrade was already doing good. All these guys was doing good. So why did they need him? I can understand if you was doing bad and you say, let me holler at this dude. But you was already doing good. It don't make any sense. And then you know the man passed. And what Victor Conte said? He said, whatever the stigma is, whatever I'm giving them is more than what people talking about these guys. They overlook at what Devin Haney said. I ain't worried about what they saying. What Terrence Crawford say? I ain't worried about what they saying. Victor Conte was right. Whatever I'm giving them is worth more than people talking to them, talking about them, by them dealing with me.
In other words, is the reward is greater than the risk.
Man, must be a big reward.
It's greater than the stigma. That was his exact words. It's greater than the stigma. Because I asked them, if they're already good, why do they call you and go over to you? And that's what he said. Double salute, my guy, Gregory Quarterbaum. Thank you again for your super chat and your contribution and your support to the channel. Greg says, confidence is backed by substance. And when you fully prepared yourself and do so correctly, you have bud. When you full of arrogance and false bravado, you get EJ.
Well, why he didn't buy the stuff online like y'all did? Okay.
Hey.
Just like Cash Crypto say, I believe. He said Terrence Crawford had those Nestle quick bumps on his head. he said YSM Sports Media and Greg, they didn't get him.
They didn't have to give no blood up too. That's what they told me. I asked YSM, I asked Band Up, I asked Gregory Quarterbaum. These guys, I think Greg bought the product online. YSM Sports Media and Band Up, they got it shipped to them via Victor Conte free of charge. So, but they didn't have to give up blood. And I asked them, did they have to? They said no. Or if you buy it online, or if I buy it online, or any of us buy the product online, I don't think they're going to request any of your blood work.
But did the athletes have to give up blood back when he was doing dirty stuff?
Yes.
And everything he's doing back then, he's still doing right today, right? As far as, everything for the doctors, the blood, and all this other stuff.
Yes.
But what changed?
I don't know.
He said he threw on, I'm an advocate. That's what he
did. Yeah. He made one of them, when you first go somewhere, like in a big building, and they say, this is a good conference we're having. You got to put, hello, my name is, he didn't even put his name, and he said, hello, my name is Advocate. Yep. Anti-doping advocate. Put the sticker right on his chest. Ain't got no credentials, ain't show us nothing that he's advocating for, but he's an advocate.
I want to ask you a question, Manager Marty. When he came back, when Victor Conte came back and was supposed to be an advocate, changed his whole style, which everything's still similar. Did some of the athletes still pop dirty?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, on the SNAC program, or you mean in general?
Well, that was dealing with him. After he came back and said he's legit, he don't do any of those things no more. Did some of the fighters or athletes still pop dirty?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yes, since 2005. He's been an advocate since 2005, he said.
Yeah.
But a couple of boxers on the SNAC program, they popped dirty under his program. Yes, that's true.
Okay, I seen somebody was in the chat talking about that nobody popped dirty or something like that. So I just wanted to ask you that question.
I asked Victor Conte about that. So I don't know if somebody in the chat mentioned that Nobody popped dirty with Victor Conte. That's what they said in the chat.
Yeah, and salute to Sheena. She said
Sheena
salute.
here. Hey, Sheena. Excuse me, detail this. I know you here, but hey, when the ladies, cover your ears. When the ladies are in the chat, y'all know how I get. Double salute to my girl. Hey, Sheena, what's going on? Yes. So let's hear what Victor Conte said when I asked him. I only asked him because he volunteered. I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it.
So we've never had an active fighter that was with SNAC, that was in the ring or in a training camp that tested positive. It's never happened.
All right. Well, I will say this, Mr. Conte, and I definitely have to put you on the hot seat to ask you this, because I know you're going to, just tell it like it is. You've been doing so thus far. You said you never had a fighter that tested positive under SNAC, but you would agree that there's some controversy around the baseball player, Mr. Marlon Byrd. He was under the SNAC program when he tested positive, correct?
Yes, he was.
Oh, did you hear that? Let's play it again.
We educating them boys. Come on
Let's
over.
play it again. And I told him, I said, I'm going to have to put you on the hot seat. I said, I'm going to have to put you on the hot seat. Hold on, I'm going to play it again.
So we've never had an active fighter that was with SNAC, that was in the ring or in a training camp that tested positive. It's never happened.
All right. Well, I will say this, Mr. Conte, and I definitely have to put you on the hot seat to ask you this, because I know you're going to, just tell it like it is. You've been doing so thus far. You said you never had a fighter that tested positive under SNAC, but you would agree that there's some controversy around the baseball player, Mr. Marlon Byrd. He was under the SNAC program when he tested positive, correct?
Yes, he was. So we've never had an active fighter.
Now, I want you to see the body language. Huh? I want you to see the body language when I asked him that. Hold on, I'm going to play it again, but I want y'all to see the body language. How he looked over there, and then he paused. He had to exhale first, then he looked over there. Just watch. Just watch. Relax, Marlo. We're talking about boxing. But somebody in the chat, Marlo, I want to bring you up to speed. Somebody in the chat said that no one's ever tested positive under his program since he's been out of prison. And we do know there was 2 boxers that we know of. Could have been more, but we don't know. But we know there's 2 of them that tested positive under the SNAC program. I'm talking about boxers, since you wanted to bring boxing up. Andre Berto, I got the evidence right here. I pulled it up again. I did videos on this, Marlo. Andre Berto with nandrolone in 2012, the same drugs 10 years prior to him testing positive for. Barry Bonds tested positive for under Victor Conte's program. And then in 2018, 3 years before Terrence Crawford went over there. Huh? A year after Devin Haney went over there. Willie Monroe Jr. tested positive for a banned substance. See, I'm not making all of this up. This is all public record. I want you to see the body language when I was talking to him. Hold on, let me see if I can get it up. No Diddy. No Diddy. No Diddy. No Diddy. No Diddy.
Yeah.
I said, let me see if I can get it up. I meant pull it up. No Diddy. Because I seen 2 cents boxers say no Diddy.
Yeah.
No Diddy. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Hold on. I'm just having fun, y'all. I don't say that in real life, but no Diddy. Hold on. Well, I did say it a couple of times in real life. Hold on. How do I think I gotta do this. Hold on.
You good, Marlo?
We've never had an active fighter that was with SNAC, that was in the ring or in a training camp that tested positive. It's never happened.
All right. Well, I will say this, Mr. Conte, and I definitely have to put you on the hot seat to ask you this, because I know you're going to, just tell it like it is. You've been doing so thus far. You said you never had a fighter that tested positive under SNAC, but you would agree that there's some controversy around the baseball player, Mr. Marlon Byrd. he was under the SNAC program when he tested positive, correct?
Yes, he was. So we've never.
Woo-wee. Ooh, my goodness. Ooh. Yeah, Cash Crypto. That's the same Willie Monroe who Bud Crawford was sparring with for the Errol Spence fight. That was him. See, I pointed this out already to the audience that's here, so that's why most of them already know this. But since somebody brought it up in the chat, I figured out, hey, Band Up, what's going on, buddy? Salute. That, Band Up and waiting for you to come over here, detail. You know what I mean?
Easy work. It's a breeze. No problem.
Hey, Band Up. Let me talk to Band Up for a minute. Double salute to my guy, J-Star72. J-Star, thank you again all night long for your contribution and your support, man. J-Star says Crawford don't sell, and he's taking things that other fighters don't take. Why fight him? That's what J-Star said. Look, Terrence Crawford said he used things on SNAC that other fighters don't use. That's what he said. I take things on the other fighters don't do what I'm doing. That's what he said. So Jake Starr's question is, he don't sell, and he's on SNAC, taking stuff that other fighters don't take while fighting. I don't know. I think people should still fight him. I think Terrence Crawford should fight Errol Spence in the rematch if they're going to fight at 54. If Terrence Crawford going to stay at 147, he needs to fight Boots. I don't see what the issue is with that. I don't personally see that the issue. If neither one of them can go ahead, I'm listening to D. Talk to me, brother.
No, you good. I was just sitting up for the.
Oh, no, I was just saying, hey, if neither one of them are going to fight each other in the rematch, whether it be at 54 or not, then guess what? These guys got to go their separate ways. There's still money to be made in the sport for both of these guys, and we wish them nothing but the best. But for Terrence Crawford to get the fight with Fundora, no, not over Errol Spence, because it's about business. It's not about just talent alone inside the ring. It's about if I give money, and when I say I am referring to a promoter or a network, if I give money to pay for the rights to own this fight, guess what? I need to first, this is business 101, I have to first recoup off of my initial investment and then make a profit. And all I'm saying is Errol Spence have a better chance fighting Sebastian Fundora for the belts and allowing all parties involved to make a whole lot of money, where not only they're going to recoup their initial investment, but they're also going to make a huge profit only compared to a Terrence Crawford. That's basically all I was saying. He's asking me to drop the link. I can't drop the link, Band Up, because they only allow me to use the link for one person to come up. But I guess you want to talk to D-Town. I told you to talk to D-Town on his channel. D-Town said he'd cook you, bro. He's here. What do you want me to do?
Man, look, I'm just gonna tell you up front. There's gonna be a whole bunch of nonsense. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. He gonna be asking stuff I don't already answered. I mean, I think the man just want to make a name for himself. That's all it is. I mean, he had an opportunity to cook me, but his Boost Mobile messed up. You know what I'm saying? His internet was messed up. So when he said detail, the dude was out of there. So that let you know it was nonsense. The man ain't got nothing, man. He tried to say I'm still rocking with Blue Blood. I done made videos saying I don't rock with the dude. Man, this dude he's just full of it, man. That dude ain't talking about.
Man, I ain't no referee. Well, I am for the amateurs, but I'm not no YouTube referee, man.
Well, Band Up like one of those little gnats that fly around, and you just try to get them out the way. Ain't nobody worry about no. My grandbaby is a bigger threat than Band Up, so come on, Band Up. Chill with all that nonsense, man. You ain't talking about
He
nothing.
talking real heavy in the chat though, Detail. I ain't
Hey,
even gonna hold you, bro.
hey, look. If he think that means something, if he think he really talking heavy, he don't know D-Town. Believe that. He don't know me. That dude just running his mouth. He had an opportunity, he failed.
He
So
told
I
me to
ain't
call him on. Look, he telling me to call him on IG, man.
look, Manager Marty, do whatever you gotta do, man. You
I don't
know
want
me.
to. Hey, I don't want to be the referee. I'm gonna let you guys handle it. That the people. Hey, Band Up. I don't mind calling you, but Band Up, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You know they coming to see the big dog, baby. You trying to take my shot? All the ladies came to see me. Let me put my iPad down. Oh, let me put my iPad down. Oh, let me put my glasses on too. Hold on, Band Up. Hold on, Band Up. Oh, let me take this off. Oh, Band Up. The ladies came to see me, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take this off. Oh, you try to come over here and steal my shine now. You know what I mean? They don't
Oh
want to
my
hear your voice, brother. They want to hear
God.
me. The ladies came to see me. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm just joking around, man. It's all entertainment.
Band up easy work. Band up easy work, man. I ain't worried about no band up.
Man, listen, we had a big show today. Man, the viewership is here, and now Mr. Greg gets involved. Oh man. Manager Marty, D-Town, are the Golden Gloves tournament doing? Yes. Yes, the Golden Gloves is in my town. Yes. He was asking you too, D-Town. That's from Mr. Greg.
You say Golden Gloves?
Yeah. Now, yo, Band Up acting crazy. Band Up, chill, man.
You ain't
Chill
worried about
out,
no
Band
band
Up.
up, man. Band up like one of those little cousins. You have to take your belt off and whoop his butt and make him go out there and cut grass. Don't worry about no band up, man. I'm real deal band up. Don't get yourself all twisted, man, with all that nonsense, man. I'm real, man. So don't get yourself all twisted up, man. Don't do yourself dirty. Believe that.
Man, listen, we had a big show. We coming back again. Y'all know me, man. I come back over the weekend and don't even care. But I'm definitely gonna come back Monday, same time. We had Detailed Boxing here with us today. We had a big show today, man. That's what I think. I'm gonna give y'all my perspective as far as what I think those guys should do right now. If this is all about Tszyu fighting Fundora in a rematch, to me, I think a rematch is well worth it. I mean, we saw a great fight. Both fighters showed heart. They showed tenacity. They overcame. These guys were bleeding all night long. I mean, look, it was just a good competitive fight. I respect the judge's decision because at the end of the day, um, there were at least three, might have been four, but I'll say at least at the bare minimum, there were three swing rounds that could have went either way. That could have went either way between Fundora and Tszyu. And so, look, Tszyu lost, Sebastian Fundora won, and hopefully he can enjoy his belts because for the first 48 days, everybody else was talking about, not him being a champion, but Terrence Crawford and the WBO. So hopefully he's able to smell his flowers while he still can and enjoy, his time off with his family. Of course, I believe his nose was broken, so I heard he was getting surgery or he might have gotten it already. But he's the new 154-pound champion, and we got to wait and see what's happening next for both guys. Hopefully they do a rematch. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch because Tszyu was looking real good before, he ran into the elbow of Fundora. But if they don't do the rematch, let Sebastian Fundora fight Errol Spence. They all can make some real money. And then whoever win that, then I think it's more feasible for the winner to fight Crawford. The problem is the time, though. Errol Spence haven't been in the ring for a long time, almost a year in July. Neither has Terrence Crawford. You know, but we shall see. There was a super chat. Thank you so much. Salute to you, Estelle, again for your cash app. Excuse me, it wasn't a super chat, it was a cash app from Estelle. And Estelle says, D-Town is so funny. Thank you so much, Estelle, for your contribution. And I just told D-Town what you said. Hold on one second. I wanted to address. Band Up. Double salute to you, Band Up. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Band Up says, salute Marty and Diddy Town Boxing. Now, instead of him calling you D-Town Boxing, now he's calling you Diddy Town Boxing. I mean, Band Up, what's all this about, man? What's all this about, Band Up, man?
His
This is a
feelings hurt.
family show.
His feelings hurt. That's all it is. His Boost Mobile didn't work that day. You know, he ain't got no new phone. He still got that old BlackBerry and all the other stuff. Man, we ain't worry about no. Band Up. Get you some internet. Get you a new phone. Come holler at us, man. You know me. I don't duck no smoke.
You heard
Matter
it
of fact,
live and living.
I'm gonna put my grandbaby on here so she can smoke it. Which one you want? You want it could be easy or real easy. Pick which one you want, bro.
The people loving that shirt detail, by the way.
Well, I got a couple of them, and I'm gonna wear that when I smoke. Band Up. Get it.
A lifeline. If somebody send me a super chat, brother, I got to give them what they asked for, baby. Listen, y'all, we had a great show. I appreciate the chat was on fire today. Chat was on fire. You know, we had everything that y'all came to look for. We had a little bit of controversy, but this is what y'all want, man. I get the people what they want: entertainment and education, and I hope you all got that. D-Town, I'm gonna let you close us out as I always do. Salute to the Roll to Take film crew members. I'm not gonna say anything. The last words you're going to hear is from my brother. And don't forget, y'all, go subscribe to D-Town Boxing, fire content. Go support his channel. I said what I had to say. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. Close us out, D-Town.
I want to first say this to my brother Band Up. That's my dog. So don't think that I got any ill will against Band Up. Salute to Band Up. You know, he's one of those little cousins. You got to grab him by the head and push him. Get in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So I like Band Up, y'all. So there's no ill will against Band Up, man. I cut for the dude. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that there's no ill will. But salute to all the family members and friends. Salute to every last one of y'all. I enjoy talking to y'all. You know, it's like family. You know what I'm saying? We get out work. We can talk to all the family, no matter where you at, get together, commune together, have fun, laugh. Sometimes we can't laugh at work. Sometimes it's hard out there. But I feel good to be able to see all of y'all, get together, talk, have respect, respect for one another, enjoy ourselves, man. We all family. No matter if we agree or disagree, we are all family. So that's all I gotta say, y'all.